Hello students, good morning. Today in this video we are going to learn 16th lesson, Nationalism in India. This is part 7. In this part we are going to learn the topic about Constituent Assembly. In the year of 1946, Constituent Assembly was formed and elections were held for Constituent Assembly in July, and there were totally 389 members in our Constituent Assembly, and Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad was elected as the President of Constituent Assembly, and it comprised 389 members, in which 292 members were elected from provinces, 93 members were elected from native princely states, also called provincial councils, and whereas 4 members were separate elected from Delhi, Ajmer, Mewad and Coorg. So out of 389 members, Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad was elected as the President of this Constituent Assembly, and the Assembly elected again drafting committee. It was formed in 1947, August 29th. It means 14 days after the announcement of independence. Independence was announced by the last Viceroy, Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten announced that British government was going to divide British India into 2 parts, the northwest part and very east part of our India as Pakistan, in the name of Pakistan, and the remaining entire part is India. So when the announcement was made by British on exactly 14th midnight 1947 August, 14th August 1947. So when the announcement was made by the British government, actually our India already fell on 15th. That's why compared to India's standard time, Pakistani's standard time is some hours backward. That's why every year 14th August is being celebrated as Independence Day by Pakistani people, whereas 15th August is being celebrated as Independence Day by Indians. And after announcement of freedom by British government on this 29th August 1947, drafting committee was formed, and drafting committee comprised 7 members and its chairman Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And drafting committee had taken nearly 2 years, 11 months, 18 days time to complete the drafting, and the drafted constitution was approved by the Parliament on November 26th of 1949, and we know very well our drafted constitution, which was approved by the Parliament on this date, it came into force from 1950 January 26th, which we celebrate as Republic Day. And already we discussed in the 17th lesson, Republic means a country which has an elected head. So in this way, announcement of independence was made by British government, and before the announcement of independence, we have to know the main incidents occurred in 1946. 1946 was very famous for its important national incidents. If we see 1946 Tebaga movement, and number 2 industrial workers movement, and number 3 the Naval Soldiers movement. So in the same year 3 important incidents occurred in our India, and in this year it was almost filled with important revolutions led by farmers, other side led by industrial workers, and the third side by the naval soldiers. We have to see one by one, topic wise. First we have to say about Tebaga movement. So in this Tebaga, Te means 3, Bhaga means share. The movement was started in West Bengal. Farmers had to take very less amount of salary or wages or the crop after the harvestation, and the total crop was cultivated by tillers, but total benefit was taken by landlords. This was resented, this was hesitated by farmers, and many years farmers had taken this less amount, but finally they demanded to give either 2/3 part if the investment was put up by the tillers. Suppose the investment was made by owners, 50% for owners, 50% for the tillers. So if the investment was put up by owners, invested by owners, 50-50. Suppose investment was also put by the tillers, 2/3 part for tillers and 1/3 part for owners. In this way the movement occurred, and for this movement CPI party and Provincial Kisan Sabha, these two organizations, they organized this Tebaga movement. It was succeeded grandly in a grand manner, and afterwards same type of farmers movements began in Kerala, Vailar, Ponnapura, and Telangana regions, Hyderabad regions. Also same type of farmers movement, tillers movements were started, and as a result landlords, they accepted the demands of tillers. Then that's why now also we can see from that 1946 movement, when they gave priority for Communist Party CPI, and up to 2006 CPI was in power. It means we are observing CPI party's main motto here. According to this movement, what we have to say, land reforms were the main motto of CPI party, which we have to reveal a fact from this incident. So after the Tebaga movement, we have to talk about the industrial mill workers movement. In Bombay, more than 2 lakh mill workers participated in the struggle, and they throw away all the industrial tools with which tools they have to work daily, and they did not allow any laborer to work in the factory. And industrial workers also had some problems, and they demanded hiking in their salary, decreasing the working hours, and providing the protection provisions, and providing free houses and free education for their industrial workers' families. So with all these demands, industrial workers started the movement, and within short period, not only in Mumbai, it was started actually Mumbai, and afterwards from Mumbai it was spread to Ahmedabad and in Uttar Pradesh and in Maharashtra, entire maximum states of our India. So in this way, mill workers also succeeded in their revolution, and mill workers accepted for increasing their salaries. And finally, if we see the naval soldiers, in 1946 February, the Indian Navy soldiers group, which were named as ratings, these ratings soldiers led a movement against British government under the leadership of M.S. Khan. So naval soldiers led a movement under the leadership of M.S. Khan. If we see what were the reasons behind the naval soldiers' struggle in our India against the British government, the total army in our India is to be taken out of total army. If we divide it into 8 parts, 7 parts army comprised by Indian soldiers, only just 1 part was belonged to British government. But the 1/8 part of British soldiers were given respect, delicious food, more salaries, respect, additional incomes, incentives, all these. But the other side, though the same work is done by our Indians, Indians were criticized by British government with the nicknames, and they used to call the Indians with the caste name, color name, and they did not give proper salaries. And compared to British soldiers' salary, our Indian soldiers' salary was very less, and even they are not provided the proper food in time. It was a malnutritious food. That's why soldiers demanded, under the leadership of M.S. Khan, they demanded delicious food, they demanded equal treatment, and they demanded equal salaries, respect, and they demanded equal economical status and better food. So the main demands: better food, better wages, better salaries, better treatment, and better respect. And even the soldiers occupied 20 shores of our India, and they occupied 78 ships. More than 20,000 soldiers participated. 20 shores, 78 ships, 20,000 soldiers participated in the struggle. So if we see the total 1946 year, one side formation of Constituent Assembly, and one side naval soldiers movement, other side industrial workers movement, Tebhaga, the farmers movement, tillers movement. That's why total 1946 was filled with the same struggles. Meanwhile, in this same year, August 16th of 1946, on this date, 1946, August 16th, this date was announced as Direct Action Day by Muslim League Party. So, Muslim League also realized, according to this topic, we have to come to a conclusion. Muslim League also realized the dual role played by British government. Many times they told the Indians to give freedom, but not giving. That's why Muslim League soldiers, Muslim League volunteers also joined hands with our remaining Indians. And when 1946 August 16th date was also, which was given a deadline to the British government by Muslims in our India, that date was also gone. That's why Muslims also revolted on against the British government. Ultimately, after a long struggle, after the sacrification of lakhs of Indian people, we achieved independence. It was wonder, on the independence date, when the independence was announced by British government, entire the Indians became very happy, and they distributed sweets, and they said each other the wishes, but except 2 persons who were worried very much. Who were the two persons we have to observe here? They were Gandhiji and his friend Suhrawardi. Gandhiji, Suhrawardi, when the independence date was announced, these persons were in London. Though British announced freedom by bifurcating our British India into two parts, India and Pakistan, Gandhiji was in worried mood and he did fast on the day. And we have to think why all the Indians became happy. What was the dreams of Indians? What was the dream of Indians that was fulfilled on the same date, 1947, August 15th? Why Gandhiji and others, why Gandhiji and his friend Suhrawardi were in worry? We have to see in this way. The strong reason behind was Gandhiji did not like the independence in this manner. He liked the independence given to the India on the whole, not a divided India, some part of British India into India and the remaining part into Pakistan. In this way, he don't like the partition of India based on religion. So Gandhiji expected British government created a quarrel between Muslims and Hindus. And he prayed on the entire the day on 15th August 1947. Gandhiji prayed God how in future how he wanted to provide friendly nature between Muslims and Hindus. Already with their divide and rule policy, British succeeded in dividing Muslims and Hindus based on religion. But now there was a great responsibility of bringing friendship, bringing cooperation between Hindus and Muslims in our India. So for this reason behind, Gandhiji worried very much, and that's why he did fast on the day. And then after independence also, if we observe carefully, problems of our India was not completely removed out. One more important problem arise in front of the Indian government. That was amalgamation of native princely states. When the independence was announced, common people of our India faced so many problems. If we discuss the problems faced by common people during the partition of India, during the announcement of partition of India by British, many Indian Hindus were rejected by the Pakistani Rajakars. They came back to our India, and Hindus' properties were looted out by Pakistanis, which was the newly formed government in northwest part of India. Many Indians were being killed, and there was quarrels between Hindus and Muslims in our India. Many Hindus' properties were looted out, and they were sent forcibly back to India. And some Indians came to India from Pakistani area on by train, and somebody through the Third Desert, somebody came through the Indus River, and they reached to India. So this was a great challenge in front of the newly formed government of our India. Thousands of people came back from Pakistan to India, and how we have to provide food for them? How can we show job for them? How can we show shelter for them? Because food, clothes, shelter are the basic needs for every man, we know very well. That's why providing food, providing job and giving shelter to the Rajakars rejected Indians who were sent back to India forcibly by Pakistanis. So for those Indians, it was difficult for Indian government to provide all the facilities, but India succeeded in providing the facilities. And after doing all these things, we have to get success. Indian government succeeded in providing the facilities. Ultimately, our India formed a democratic, a secular, a republic, a sovereign, and a socialistic India. So, though after a long struggles, after many persons' sacrifices, India achieved freedom. And after getting freedom, I told you what was the problem in front of our Indian leaders, amalgamation of princely states. How the princely states were amalgamated into our India. This topic we are going to learn in our next video. Thank you for watching.